Advent had gone quiet ever since our bold assault on their East Asian research facility. The Avatar project was in shambles, and their one remaining facility in North America was scrambling to recover whatever data they could. They would be able to rebuild eventually, given enough time, but we were already taking steps to prevent that from happening. It would take some effort to establish a network of contacts that could reach the U.S. territories, but we started by beginning work on a new communications tower deep in the Blightwalkers' territory. While Lily oversaw the tower construction, I once again turned my attention towards our ever-expanding armory. Some of the more creative members of our engineering team had made good use of the Proving Grounds facility, and they seemed quite enthusiastic to explain exactly how their new toys could be used to kill Advent peacekeepers in exciting new ways. Dr. Thawan had also returned from Reaper territory with the new tech that they had promised us, and I quickly sent it along to Tygan so that he could integrate it into his current heavy plasma weapons project. Even by itself, the Reaper tech already looked pretty promising, and apparently Major Winter had already used some of it to upgrade his personal heavy weapon. Out of curiosity, I decided to reach out to some of our other allies as well to see what interesting new equipment they might have to offer. Betos was quick to respond to my request, offering what amounted to new sharpening techniques intended to help maximize the deep tissue damage our bladed weapons could inflict. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but I certainly didn't want to insult our allies, so I assembled another team to retrieve the schematics from skirmisher territory. We had been hovering over Eastern Asia for about 5 days by that point, and I suppose it was no surprise that the Blightwalker eventually took notice of us. He made a few half-hearted attempts to disrupt our systems, but this time we were ready for him. But it did succeed in giving our engineering teams a bit of extra incentive to finish their work quickly. Our new radio tower was ready to go by the end of the week. Now that our effective communications range had once again been extended, we quickly began scanning the surrounding regions for new potential allies, and we quickly made contact with a group of anti-Advent holdouts hiding in the new Arctic. They were fairly suspicious when we approached them, but, as usual, Bradford quickly had them eating out of the palm of his hand, securing yet another source of revenue for our steadily growing organization. More importantly, our new foothold in the Arctic put us just within striking range of the western United States, where Advent's last operational research facility was located. It was going to take a bit more work to set things in motion, but soon we'd finally be able to crush the Avatar project once and for all. Unfortunately, that was going to have to wait at least a bit longer, because another target of opportunity had just appeared. We had already heard that Advent was working on some sort of new encryption program, and our contacts in Africa had finally managed to locate the facility where Advent had been developing it. Apparently, the facility had been evacuated after the surrounding areas had been overrun by the Lost, and the project had been continued elsewhere. But according to our sources, Advent had left a partial copy of the encryption key behind. This was our chance to preemptively crack their new codes. I certainly wasn't worried about the Lost. They were just the remnants of the aliens' first victims so many years ago, which really made them more depressing than dangerous. This seemed like another good opportunity to give some of our newer recruits some more experience in the field, so I tasked the Beast with assembling an appropriate team. He quickly and efficiently assembled a team that he felt was suitable for the task at hand. Kuruk and Blackbane would be the squad's heavy fire support, with Messer and Sergeant Wall tagging along to watch their backs. Joey would be acting as the squad's field medic. It wasn't likely to be a very dangerous mission, though I suppose I still had to take it seriously. There was always the chance that something unexpected might happen. After all, Blightwalker and the Archon King were still out there somewhere. But really, all things considered, this already looked like it was going to be one of the easiest missions that XCOM had ever faced.
Dr. Tygan has been tracking the movements of an Advent data vault carrying information critical to the aliens' latest project, and he's finally managed to trace it to one of their facilities in this area. Tygan thinks we can recover the contents, assuming we can eliminate any hostile forces protecting this thing. Move in and secure the area. Leave no aliens standing. Menace this 1-5. We've got a bead on the Advent data vault near your position. Be advised, self-detonating charges are in place at the target. Move to disarm and extract the package before its contents are destroyed.
Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 32. Today we're facing a pretty basic object recovery mission, with the added twist that Advent decided not to show up. There are over 24 lost on the map, but like I've said before, they're pretty much trivialized by the Between the Eyes resistance order that we currently have active. I don't really anticipate us having any problems here, but I am hoping that something happens to spice things up a bit. Since we're not around Asia, I know the Blightwalker's not going to show up, but there's a small chance we might see the Archon King. I'm also hoping that Advent might send in a reinforcement pod or two once we've retrieved that objective. It looks like Messer has just spotted our first batch of Lost, so let's have him go ahead and clear them out real quick. Honestly, at this point, handguns are our best weapon against the Lost because we don't have to worry about reloading them. I was actually tempted to fill out this entire team with nothing but sharpshooters and maybe Henrik too, since he's got the auto pistol. And the only reason I resisted the urge is on the off chance that we might actually end up fighting something other than zombies.
Seems doable.
This should clearly illustrate how much of a non-threat they are.
That was good. Not too shabby.
That takes care of our second zombie pod. We've killed 7 of those things so far, which means that we've still got at least 17 still running around, plus any additional reinforcements that might show up.
Overwatch. Come and get some.
And speaking of reinforcements, it looks like we've got at least 2 more pods incoming. But that's fine. With the way we've got our guys lined up, we're basically just getting some free target practice. Alright, we're up again, so let's keep shooting down zombies and pushing up towards the objective. At the very least, these missions do make it easier to bulk up your low-level recruits. I actually have a sneaking suspicion that that was the developers' intent when they came up with the Lost in the first place. And this does give me the opportunity to give some of our lower-ranking recruits a bit more screen time. It's usually too risky to bring them along on the more dangerous missions, and I've been quietly trying to level them up off-screen using the covert operations. But the occasional zombie-killing mission could speed up the process quite a bit.
Understood. Moving out. Trusting you here.
Now, obviously we're going to be leaving Pierce Wall up on that rooftop to provide us with some covering fire. Since the Lost clearly telegraphed their presence and are incapable of making ranged attacks, he should be perfectly fine up there. The rest of the squad is going to continue pushing up to secure the objective, but we'll get Messer up on another rooftop as soon as we get the chance.
You know, that was good. Impressed yet? I'm ready. Moving to Overwatch. Scanning. Moving to Overwatch. I'm on it. Fire shots. Scanning. I got it, right?
No sign of any more zombies for the moment, so
No problem,
we'll
boss.
keep pushing up, and thanks to Messer's grappling hook, he can actually get up on top of that roof pretty quickly.
Haken raus.
Now that we have 2 sharpshooters set up in sniper positions, the rest of the squad might not need to fire another shot.
Die Überwachung läuft. Good copy. Moving on target. Overwatch. If you say so. Scanning. Covering now. Got it covered. Overwatch. That's it.
And it looks like we've got 2 more zombie pods incoming.
Not even close. Did you see that one?
We shot down the first pod, but the second pod is actually showing an odd sense of self-preservation. They're still hiding inside that building over there.
Okay.
I guess since we're already here, we should go ahead and take a look at that scanning tower. Ah, looks like it's just a dodge bonus. That would be useful if this were a standard mission, but when you're just up against zombies, it's definitely nothing worth wasting an action over. I was really hoping it would offer some material rewards, like some extra alloy or maybe some more intel. We've actually been having a hard time building up enough intel lately. That's actually the main reason I took this mission. Under normal circumstances, I would have just ignored this mission and picked something more exciting. But unfortunately, this mission was tied to a dark event that doubles all of our intel costs. And that would have slowed the game to a crawl.
Check it before you get too close. Affirmative. Covering now. Got it covered. I can handle that. Na los, zeigt euch. Got it covered. Target's still up.
Oh wow, that's actually a pretty large amount of zombies. I mean, we're not going to have any trouble clearing them out, but it would actually be pretty scary if I didn't know how easily I could kill them. It's almost like they're trying extra hard just to prove that I'm in a dangerous situation. Well, Messer, it's time to put that pistol back to use. I do wish that Messer had fan fire, because it would make this go slightly faster.
Habt ihr das gesehen? Das war echt gut. Na, was sagt ihr dazu? Schon beeindruckt? Habt ihr das gesehen? Nicht schlecht. Das war echt gut. Schon beeindruckt? Habt Habt ihr das gesehen? Nicht schlecht.
Alright, that takes care of most of them. Now let's push up on the objective.
I'm on the move. Got eyes on the objective. Menace 1-5, this is Avenger. We have positive confirmation of the target package. Move to acquire. Good riddance. Hostile neutralized. Attempting infiltration.
Watch list isn't bad, but there's actually an annoying dark event coming up, so let's try priority data. Oh well, at least we gave it a shot.
I'm in. Package in tow. Affirmative, covering now.
Okay, we've got what we came for, but apparently we need to neutralize the last few lost before they'll let us leave, so let's get that taken care of.
Okay, I'll go. Ready to go. All right, I'll go. I'm going. Come get some. Overwatch! Happy now? Status confirmed. All systems down and the area is secure. Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
Wow, I think that's the first time I've ever finished a mission with Overwatch fire.
I would like to assure the citizens of Advent that our peacekeepers will stop at nothing to prevent further attacks by criminal elements such as the one that occurred today. The Elders have total faith in our ability to overcome any and all threats to our peace.
I can't imagine the aliens are too happy about this one, Commander. Hell of a job.
Okay, as simple as that mission was, at least it netted us 3 promotions. Joey will pick up Field Medic. Kuruk will pick up Heavy Ordnance, that'll give him an extra grenade. And Messer will pick up Quick Draw. Yeah, it would certainly make sense after all that practice he just got with his pistol. I know this made for a pretty short and uneventful episode, but don't worry, I'll make sure we do something a little more interesting next time. As I had predicted, Operation Sinking Heart had been our quickest and smoothest operation yet. Our squad had neatly infiltrated the region, cut their way through the local lost hordes, and retrieved the Advent encryption data in record time. While it certainly hadn't made for the most exciting story, it had at least given us another advantage over Advent, and it had been very good for morale. Apparently there was something very therapeutic about shooting at zombies. We enjoyed a few quiet days afterwards, during which time I caught up with the latest reports I had received from the Psi Lab. Atlas had finally finished his training, leaving Deus as our sole remaining test subject. Speaking of Deus, I had received some interesting reports after his first field deployment, so this seemed like a good opportunity to catch up with him. We sat down and talked for a while, discussing a number of different subjects, and eventually he explained his reasons for joining XCOM. It was a sad story, and out of respect to him I won't repeat it here, but it was the sort of story that I had heard from many of our other recruits, and it reassured me that Deus was thoroughly dedicated to our cause. Since we were already in South Africa, we picked up our covert ops team on the way to our next destination. The new weapons tech that Betos had promised us was about as underwhelming as I had expected, but I still passed it along to our engineering department just in case they could find a use for it. Although they had done an admirable job, Corporals Varnas and Morgan were eager to take on some more dangerous work, so I quickly assigned them both to a new operation, recovering an Advent cache hidden near the edge of Blightwalker's territory. Afterwards, I checked in with Tigan again. He had finally completed his work on the heavy plasma weapons project. He had proposals for 2 new energy weapons, a man-portable rotary plasma cannon, and an even heavier Illyrium-powered phase cannon. They both looked rather impressive, so I quickly sent the designs down to Lily to see if she could put together some prototypes for us. Tigan had done a lot of admirable work lately, upgrading a lot of the equipment in our armory, but he was looking a bit antsy. I guess it had been quite some time since he had last gotten to hack up a few alien corpses. I decided it couldn't hurt to be nice to him, and approved a few of his outstanding requests to have some new specimens brought up to his lab for analysis. I wasn't expecting anything particularly useful to come from his gruesome exploratory autopsies, but it was important to keep Tigan happy if I wanted things to keep going smoothly around the lab. Our relatively lazy week was brought to an abrupt end when our scanning teams reported the discovery of a makeshift lab in one of the territories that we controlled. Investigation quickly uncovered a number of partially disassembled alien devices. There were also several notes, mostly speculating about the purpose of those devices, but one piece of information jumped out at me immediately. Some mysterious coordinates pointing us back towards the heart of the Blightwalker's territory. On a hunch, I checked in with Lily and Tigan, and they quickly confirmed what I had already suspected. The coordinates matched the ones that we had managed to get from that codex that had made such a mess in our shadow chamber. At Bradford's goading, I reluctantly agreed that this seemed like more than just a coincidence. I ordered the Greyshirts to set course for New India. With any luck, these coordinates would lead us to something we could use to finally shut down Advent once and for all.